How's it going, guys? How's it going, Thomas?
I'm doing pretty good.
Solid. Thomas, I got a study here. It's about U.S. adult mental health. It's claiming that as of 2020, 46.2% of U.S. adults, so almost half of the U.S. population, adults, half of the adults in the U.S. have a mental health illness, and they're receiving treatment. That's not natural. Almost half of the adults in the United States of America are experiencing mental health problems as of 2020, according to this. And another thing that I've got pulled up says that it's only getting worse, that the statistics are only getting higher. So we're living in a society we're not happy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I do think I've seen that, I've witnessed that a little bit throughout the years, a decrease in mental health. It may just be my switch to a public school, but it may be something else as well. See, these are pretty good times. And people, when they're in good times, they see no motivation to be strong. So they kick back and relax. And that makes bad times. I haven't seen any evidence of bad times coming up.
It's coming.
Not any solid evidence, we'll say. I can infer bad times are coming. But also because the weak men are struggling to be strong when they need to be.
So, to wrap around that, you're inferring that we've had good times. I mean, we can look back. We live in a pretty safe society as of right now, right?
Yeah.
Especially here in the U.S., we're one of the top global superpowers, so we're pretty safe. And most people have the ability to do what they want when they want, at least if they get their necessities done, right? But we're pretty safe. We're pretty happy. And if we're pretty safe and happy, and there's nothing else that's really pushing on us, it's super, super easy to be comfortable, right? And so if we're all comfortable, how exactly are we gonna do things, right? If we're comfortable and we're sitting down all the time, we're gonna be kind of just stuck. We're gonna be sitting there rotting. I mean, we're comfortable, but we're not happy with it, are we?
Yeah.
And if we're not happy, what's the point of life? And just right there.
I had a dream last night. It was announced to everyone. This is a vivid dream. I thought it was real. It was announced to everyone that the sun was just going to go out. And since I know that it takes 8 minutes, give or take, for light to get from the sun to the earth, I thought that's how long it was going to take for all humanity to die, because we wouldn't have any more energy. This is my dream, so it's not going to be completely accurate.
Right.
And that's pretty much what happened. Everyone came home to their families, gave up their jobs, and after I thought I was going to die, I tried to imagine dying, right? And I could still think, so I'm like, oh, I'm just asleep. I woke up the next day. But it was terrifying. And I thought, I'm not ready. There's things I need to do.
There's a life you still need to live, and it's about to end in 8 minutes.
Yes. So, I'm thinking, if you live every day like you're gonna die tomorrow, that's how you achieve your goals. Because every day you get that much closer to your goals, and you're that much closer before you die. And honestly, you could die tomorrow. There's no guarantee. That's how you want to live. It doesn't matter if it's comfortable outside.
And half of the adults in the U.S. are experiencing mental health issues. At least the ones that are receiving treatment for it, that is. Could it be that they're going through that, they're experiencing this because they don't have that sense of purpose?
It's possible. There is The newest big thing in technology is the internet, and it's kind of old actually, but it's very quick to adapt. It likes drawing in viewers. It likes stealing time, and that's where it gets money from. The internet is a bad thing in most cases.
Most. I mean,
At
what about
least-
the case that, people are watching this? on the internet?
Yeah, I think it's good that people are watching this, but in most cases of people our age, and maybe even adults, it's the internet's going to be a bad thing. Mindless scrolling and wasting time, losing your sense of purpose and reality even. It could be causing some sort of psychosis. And then you get anxiety because you don't know how to deal with reality, and you haven't put yourself through hard things, so you don't know how much you can take. And then people get depression because they don't try anything and they stay in the cave and they lose their sense of purpose.
So we're kind of just like mindless, like
Mhm.
husks walking
Mindless
around.
husks.
But it's fine because when we go home, we get to sit on our screen and scroll and scroll and scroll for the next dopamine rush. The video right here. Look at this. The two puppies running around the hole.
Whoa, Spooderman stopped the train. It's crazy.
The Spider-Man. There's a Spider-Man movie. It's coming up. Like,
It's literally an addiction.
yeah.
It's like drinking.
Oh, it's not even
problems-
drinking. It's like, I don't even know. It's like, imagine like you get like a freaking like a weed addict.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if they could literally just get weed at every single corner of everywhere.
Yeah, take a step, buy some weed. Doesn't even cost that much.
It doesn't cost that much. They turn the corner, there's more weed. They turn the next corner, and there's more weed. How do you get away from it? It's everywhere.
You burn the corner down.
Burn the...
I don't know.
Get it out. I consider myself fortunate, especially to this. So to add in some personal story to this mental health crisis. Like I remember when I was a kid, I had some pretty bad mental issues. Well, what I mean by this is I remember like being a kid, like my parents had to help me out here because I had some pretty bad anxiety. Like literally elementary, middle school kid. I'd get like anxiety crazy, like, oh my gosh, or I'm like self-conscious, whatever, something like that. Kids shouldn't feel that.
Not at that young.
No, they shouldn't.
It's not natural.
It's not, but guess how, like, at least from my perspective, I've seen it happen with a lot, with the people I know. I've seen it with kids, and then, I can go on the internet and find... All you gotta do is go to TikTok. Anyone you find on there is like of the category mental health problems.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty messed up stuff.
I remember I had like this one friend, and I'm not friends with her anymore. But I remember like when TikTok was like booming, like it came out in 2016, I think. It was like around that time, so a couple years back. And that's when it came out, and it was starting to get big. And she was on it all the time, dude. Like, I remember before it was there, she wasn't on it as much. TikTok comes out, holy crap. Non-stop. Every time you would even see her, she's just on TikTok. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, it was almost like the coronavirus.
Dude, it was insane.
They both came from China. They're both plaguing minds.
They're plaguing minds. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Yeah, honestly, like you said, the internet has been a major problem. So social media could be a problem contributing to what this study is saying. And adults too.
I might be biased about that too, because I think I have a grudge against the internet.
Well, I can see how it gives people anxiety. Because when you're on these platforms, you're getting shown people who are posting like the best high quality stuff of their life.
Their peak performance.
Yeah, that's peak performance. So if you're trying, like you're just trying to go about your life, and all you're seeing is people who are living better lives than you all the time, it's gonna get to your head. It gets to your head. That's why there's so many people, even kids, who are having these mental problems because they're on their phones and they're just scrolling and they're seeing these people with their lives. Because I've seen people like that one friend I mentioned. She was on there all the time, and I remember like peering over her shoulder to see if she's looking at, and there's always like some girl. Okay, so she's comparing herself to these people. And these people are obviously they're living the high life. I mean, that's at least what you get from these little, couple second clips. And you just see endless amounts of them. So the interpretation you're getting is that there's all of these people who are living these better lives and they're all this better than you. It's going to make you feel miserable. It's going to make you feel like you've allotted to nothing. So you're obviously going to start become self-conscious. You're going to get all the shit that comes with it. So that's why it would make sense that there's so many people who are having mental issues because, I mean, if they literally turn the corner and they're just seeing a video of someone their age who's like, living it up in Fiji.
Top of the dominance hierarchy.
Top of the dominance hierarchy.
Whatever hierarchy.
You could say it's the dominance hierarchy, but that's what they're against. And it's not just one person. It's the thousands of clips. And so, especially, like I already said, they spend lots of time on it. That's all they're getting. So if that's like what they're perceiving of the world, that means that everyone is just living a better life than you, and you're stuck here. So yeah, it makes sense that social media is corrupting our minds. Like I mean, it sounds like a hippie, like, oh my gosh, guys, social media. But actually, serious. I'm serious when I say it. It's actually kind of nuts.
And we don't go on social media very often. It's like, if you count YouTube, maybe. But anything else, we don't go anywhere else.
And not even YouTube for me.
Oh yeah, you cut out YouTube.
I pretty much don't have YouTube access now. I cut it out. I was going to talk about personal examples. Like how I had the anxiety, whatever, mental problems like that. Like, I had all that stuff. And I can tell you this. I don't have it anymore. And it sounds kind of like a crazy sentence. I don't have it.
No.
I have no anxiety. I have no depression. I love my life. I love where I'm at. And I'm content. I'm happy.
There is something else that could be going on here. It's a little idea with competence and anxiety. So if you try something and it works, you lose anxiety and get competence. This is a theory. I don't remember where I got it from. I could have made it up myself, but I think I got it from someone else. And if you fail something, you gain anxiety and lose competence. So you're not as confident that you can do a thing, and that worries you.
Okay.
So maybe...
Wait, hold on. That doesn't seem... I don't know. I mean, at least from the way I interpret that sentence. But let me add to what I was going to say.
Okay.
I don't have it anymore. And I remember literally like a year ago, I remember having like a chest pain. Like I get anxious. I don't know if I've ever told you this. Like a year ago, I would get anxious, and then it start to hurt my chest. And I'm like hyperventilating. I'm like I can't breathe. It's hurting. It doesn't feel good. And I honestly kind of thought I was gonna experience that for the rest of my life, like deadass. Because I remember I know. Like the rest of my family, both sides, they have mental health problems. Like my mom, she struggles with mental health problems. I mean, they're not like, well, I don't know, I guess. They have like anxiety and stuff like that. They have it. My mom has it. My sister has it. I have uncles, aunts who have it. My dad, like I've straight up seen my dad. I mean, he doesn't do it very often. And I don't think he likes to admit that he has like anxiety and stuff, but I've seen him just go limp. Because he'll get like an anxiety attack. Something's overwhelming him. It doesn't happen often, but he'll get it, and then all of a sudden he's literally limp, ragdoll. He passes out, and he'll be out cold for like a minute until he wakes up and he's confused. He's like, "What just happened?" None of that's normal. And then there was me, and I had that like a year ago, and here I am a year later.
No.
I'm not stressed in the slightest, like almost not at all. And it's not to say like, oh, life's perfect peachy, because I still do hard things. Like, I still push myself. But I'm not anxious. I'm not experiencing hard mental health like anything like that. I don't need help. Well, I mean, I don't need help. Like, I don't need to search a therapist to help me with my problems. And there's obviously people who need that, and I'm not trying to downput therapy, but I'm saying I'm at the point where I am happy with my life, and I feel so fulfilled and happy that I don't need it. I'm satisfied with myself, and I love life. So how did I get to this point? There's a lot that I did to get to this point. But back to what you were saying with the what's it called?
It's like a spectrum.
Well, the word.
Competence.
Thank you. The thing is about that, you said that if, and this is what I said, the perceiving, like the way I perceive that sentence. I heard if you fail something, you're going to gain more anxiety. Is that right?
Well, if you fail something and if
you let it get in your head.
If you lose competence, then you gain anxiety.
So like if you fail and you let it get to your head, basically. Which, yeah, if you're in a bad mental state and you keep failing at something and you don't know how to move on from it, then yeah, you're going to probably be extremely more anxious. So, you have to fail. I mean, this is kind of another topic, but like, you need to fail in order to succeed, right? So that means that if you're in a bad mental state, you need to get yourself out of it.
Yeah, because if you're in a bad mental state, failure is going to hit you really hard.
But there was another thing you were going to add. What was that?
I was actually going to talk about failure, because you do need to fail. You need to go until you fail so you know where your limits are. So I guess it is just letting it get to your head that makes you lose confidence.
So it's easy to say, it's like, don't let it get to your head. But, there's a lot of people who probably have heard that a million times, but they still haven't changed much.
Yeah, and it's hard. You have to negotiate with yourself and like figure out all of your... It's really hard to figure out how to not let things get to you and how to control your emotions. I've heard people say so many times that you can't control your emotions. And to some degree, that's true. But you can control the reactions you have. You can control thoughts that might provoke other emotions. So, really, and you can control the stimuli that makes the emotions. To a point, of course. So, you can actually control your emotions. I'm saying it right now. You can. But it takes a lot of...
People don't know how.
Yeah, it takes a lot of smooth moves in the...
Smooth move.
Yeah.
You need to have you need to know how to do it. So that brings us back to the question, how do you have good mental health? Like, for example, it took me 1 year and I'm basically not. You've already seen the tests I've taken.
Yeah.
I took that test for anxiety. I got 0 symptoms of anxiety. And 0.
Did those have...
depression.
I didn't check. Did those have studies behind them? I think I took some tests that had studies behind them.
Yeah.
And they were 0 anxiety.
Yeah, then those are just, honestly, I was kind of just throwing those out for the sake, because I took those, but I don't feel stressed. And on top of that, I've done Big 5, right?
Oh, yeah?
And there was the 2% neuroticism. And then neuroticism, the negative emotion, 2% compared to the 95% of positive.
Assertive.
Yeah. It's assertive on the other side of that.
I mean, the way the Big 5 works, it's like you have the 5 traits, and you either have a lot of it or none of it. So if you're just low in neuroticism, then you're low in neuroticism.
So in that case, learning to deal with your emotions is the way to almost eradicate mental health problems. Would you say so?
Yeah, that and there's coping mechanisms, and like there's dealing with your emotions. That's more creative solution. But if you want to go to more, what's the opposite of creativity? And more orderly. If you want to be more
disciplined,
then you can just start getting a routine.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think you need both.
Yes.
The thing is, we've had this discussion, and I'm gonna say it here, and you should remember this. Discipline is freedom.
Oh yeah.
Discipline's freedom. You cannot have freedom without discipline. That's just how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be free, if you want to have the things you want to have, you need to have discipline, because discipline is what's going to make it so that you can actually go and do the things required to achieve, the worthy things that you need to do.
But Camden, the Constitution gives us freedom.
Well, shut up. Yeah, sure. It gives us freedom. Like, I get what you're talking about. But if you want to do like the insane things, like, okay, let's say you're a dude and you haven't done much in your life, and you're like, okay, here's what I want to do in my life. I'd really love to have, like an aesthetic body, be, pretty big, be fit, have a lot of money, get a lot of attention from girls, whatever it is. And that was a very, like, male thing,
Mm-hmm.
like masculine thing that you want.
Yeah.
But even for girls and for what they'd want, for everybody, if you want to achieve anything that you already don't have, you need discipline. Because the discipline is going to make it so that you get out there and do that. And you've probably already heard all over the internet about how, or I guess depending on what you see, but you've probably heard if you want to do something, you need discipline. It's a very,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the most sexy answer, to be honest, but
Well,
you need to have it. You have to have it.
And if you only have like the rights you get from the Constitution, and you have no discipline,
Mm-hmm.
you're not free. You're gonna have addictions. And you're going to be eating junk food in your basement, playing League of Legends and Minecraft.
Very specific, Thomas.
Yeah, it's very specific. I don't know. That seems like the two games that
Just kills you.
just kill you. Minecraft, you can last a long time playing Minecraft. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
That's why. And like, it's a false sense of progress, too. That's what poisons you.
Yeah, it's true. So, mental health. You wanna curate your mental health, I guess. Curate? I don't think I use curate. People are in a bad mental health place. We've seen from the study that we mentioned at the very beginning of this episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's people who don't have mental health, but also there's people who are able to solve their mental health problem. Because something that I don't know if a lot of people think this, but like, you can cure your mental health.
Yeah.
You can. There might be people who are stuck and they don't think they can. You can 100%. Look back to my story. A year ago, I was experiencing chest pains from anxiety. Now I have nothing. I have none of that. And I feel very happy with my life. And everything that I could have wanted back then, I'm starting to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making me, like, life is fantastic. So, how does one get to this point? We already talked about controlling your emotions. You need to learn controlling your emotions and discipline. Honestly, you said that they're separate things, but I think that they can be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to discipline yourself to control your emotion. So, for example, not reacting to things, not engaging in the negative emotion, that takes discipline. Because someone could be pissing you off, and you're not going to let them piss you off, right? I mean, like, as much as you want to literally just go up and punch them in the face, you're not going to do that, right? Mm-hmm. That takes a level of discipline to do that. A level of it. So I'd say those two are the same thing. They can be the same thing. And there's different ways to control your emotions. But if there's any way that I can tell you how, the best thing that I can say that worked in my case was, there was a multitude, but there's 3 primary things that I can think of right now. And it's getting more sleep, it's meditating, and it's gratitude journaling. And I already know that there might be people who are watching this and are like, oh my gosh, meditation or gratitude journaling, that's so gay, man. Like, shut up.
Just do it.
You need to actually do it because like I remember before I started and I got the advice to be like, hey, you should gratitude journal, you should meditate, you should get some more sleep. I thought it was kind of, I mean, I was the same person. I was like, oh, this is gay. You know, like, it's like, okay, this doesn't seem like it's going to help me because meditation, what are you going to do? You're going to sit and do nothing the whole time? Gratitude journal, you're just going to, like, I don't want to read a diary. I don't want to write a diary. Like, you do it. Just shut up and do it. Actually, literally shut your mouth, sit down, get a journal, get a pencil, gratitude journal, and then go sit and meditate for 10 minutes. That easy. Just do it every day.
And don't think you're gonna just sleep in to get more sleep.
No.
Sleeping in is not going to help. You need to set a time, I'd say 9 at the latest, and wake up at the same time every day. Maybe you start later and draw it back. But once you start waking up early, you'll be tired in the night and you can get to bed earlier.
Mm-hmm. You know what? How's this? Well, I'll discuss those 3 things right now because I think those 2 are those are probably some of the most valuable things that I've learned for getting better mental health. Obviously, if you're in a very skewed spot, you need to go holy crap. You need to get help. Mm-hmm. And also, you should do those 3 things if you really, really want to help yourself. But if you're not like in the worst spot of all time, but you're still experiencing bad mental health and you want to improve yourself, please do these 3 things. Like dead ass. Do them. It makes everything 10 times better. I'm telling you, the other side of the hill is greener. It is better. It is way better because I implemented these things. So let's go into them step by step. Sleeping. Mm-hmm. Like what you're saying. You want to get to bed on time. You want to do good stuff. You want to be ritualistic. You want to have routine. So go to bed at this time, wake up at this time. And here's something that I've learned because I didn't do this at first, but once I started doing it, it made everything better. So they say you need 8 hours of sleep, right? Mm-hmm. 8 hours to bed is not the same as 8 hours of sleep.
Plus, 8 hours is for adults. So if you're younger than an adult, you probably need closer to 9 or 10.
Yeah, pretty much. So you need a lot of sleep, guys. And a lot of people are, there's those crackheads out there with like 6 hours, 4 hours, whatever, these bullcrap things. They're like, hey, it's all right. Don't listen to these people. They have small testicles, okay? Like, dead serious. They're... just shut up. Get more sleep. A lot more time to bed. Like, there's the people who are hardcore who are like, no, I need to grind. I need to work 16 hours a day. You need to work hard, yeah, of course. But you need to get your sleep because guess what? If you can get rest when you can actually do the work, you're going to be able to do your work faster and more effectively.
Yeah, you'll get stronger faster.
You'll get stronger, you'll get faster, you'll be able to think more critically, and if you can think critically, you can do things way better. Trust me on that one. So, you're going to want to get more time to sleep. I would say, because this is what I do, allot a 9-hour time frame to bed. 9 hours, at least.
Yeah, give yourself an hour to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. And sleep should honestly be, like, out of these 3 things, before you can get to the other 2, get more sleep. Dead serious. Mm-hmm. You need to get more sleep. So, like, make that top priority. Top priority. Set alarms. I have an alarm on my phone, actually. It's like literally 45, 30 minutes before I go to bed. So that way it's like, okay, it's time for me to go. Like, I'll be with my friends. And, I've got something going on in the morning, like working out, something like that. You need to get to bed. So it's like, oh, sorry guys, I gotta get back.
Yeah.
Dude, it's 8:45. Yep, I need my sleep. Goodbye.
Done.
So I'm done. Yep, and I get my sleep, and in the morning I'm like, oh, I feel so good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got home, got my sleep. So do that.
Also, pro tip, if you take more than like say half an hour to go to sleep, like you go to bed and you stay in it for half an hour, mm-hmm. you should probably go try sleeping somewhere else because you'll start to attach negative feelings of sleeplessness to your bed. And I think that might be why insomniacs exist.
You know what, that's actually fantastic that you mentioned that. If your bed, wow. So you're saying that if you get a lot of nightmares or something bad happens while you're sleeping?
Well, even just lack of sleep, because you get frustrated if you can't sleep.
Mm-hmm. So if your bed is, Yeah, associate your bed with a positive spot, which that actually reminds me of another thing I'd like to add too. Your bed should only be for sleeping. So,
What else would it be for, Camden?
I mean, don't like lay on your bed. I don't ever
Oh.
touch my bed until I'm going to sleep. So like,
Good.
I don't sit on my bed. I don't lay in my bed. That is unless I am actually going to sleep at the allotted times that I'm in bed. So that way, when I'm in there, I'm like zonked immediately, right? So I can get to bed really quickly, and it's fantastic. So only use your bed for sleep. And like Thomas said, that's actually fantastic. I gotta like use that more.
Also-
Associate your sleeping spot with positive stuff, so that
Yeah.
way you're in bed, you're feeling happy that you are at your bed.
Don't use melatonin.
Don't use melatonin. Okay, this is something new. What is this?
You'll hallucinate, actually. No, you won't. Um, melatonin is a natural, I don't know if it's a hormone or not, but it's natural in your brain. So when you take it, it's like more than you're used to, and the next night your brain produces less by itself. So it's like any other drug. You build up a tolerance if you take it in succession. Melatonin, you want to take it if you need to go to sleep fast and you can't go to sleep and you have something in the morning. It's only in emergencies. Because if you take it, you're gonna not sleep as well on your own. And if you just keep taking it, then now you're dependent. And who wants to do that? It's just a waste of money. Also, I haven't tried it yet, but I've been told you should take it 3 hours before bed so that it can actually keep going. And then in the morning, like personally, if I take melatonin at night, I wake up and I'm still trying to sleep. I'm so tired for the first 3 hours in the morning. So if you take it 3 hours before bed, then you'll be tired before bed, you'll sleep, you'll wake up, you're not tired anymore. So that's how you use melatonin.
Good insider, Thomas. So yeah, if you guys are already having a hard time falling asleep, take Thomas's advice here. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
And that right there, if you can get better sleep doing all of that, you're gonna see noticeable effects in not only the way you wake up, but the entirety of your day. Like when I don't get to bed on time, the rest of the day feels off. Like dead serious. Your whole day, this is kind of weird, but your whole day starts the night before. If you get to sleep at an odd time, you're going to wake up at an odd time. You're going to be doing things, you're going to be like lackluster. It's going to be harder for you to do it, and then the rest of the day is skewed. Your whole day, honestly, in the future depends on when you get to bed. That is how important going to sleep is, guys. Please get to bed on time. And with that said, let's go to the next one. So, the other thing I wanted to mention, let's go to meditation.
All right.
Meditation has done wonders for me. Have you done meditation yet, Thomas?
Not consistently. Every once in a while, I just do it.
I'm telling you right now, if you can get like 10 minutes in the morning, I do it in the morning all the time. Literally just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes if you need to. Just sit there and just be present. That's all meditation.
Don't even think. It's not diffuse thinking.
Yeah. That time that you allot, like you need to be feeling present. That's kind of what meditation has taught me. It's taught me how to be present with people. That has helped me so much because the things that it teaches you is how to be present and how to identify your thoughts. So if you are meditating, you're almost naturally going to get thoughts, especially when you start out. Over time, what happens is it helped me identify my thoughts. And because of that, it also helped me identify my emotions. So it's helped me get more emotional intelligence. I can more clearly identify my emotions, and I'm telling you right now, it's one of the main reasons why I don't have that anxiety stuff anymore. Because that way meditation makes it so that I can more properly identify what's going on inside of my mind.
So it gives you a sense of clarity, so you can slow down and less chaos.
Yeah, exactly. And when you get to the point, here's something good. So I'll get like a thought, and I'll label that thought. So I don't know. What I've noticed is I usually tend to have thoughts about the future. Makes sense for who I am, right?
Yeah.
But I'll label things and I'll label the emotions. So let's say I'm thinking about school, some random situation that came up into my mind. Okay, I label the emotion with that. So let's say that thought is about, I don't know, like a friend showing me something cool they got. And then before I let that thought spiral into more thoughts, I label it. Okay, excitement, future. Expectation. The future is an expectation. And the past, if I have past thoughts, the past is a memory. So memory, expectation. And then I have the emotion. Excitement, anticipation, fear, anything.
Hey, you might be able to use this with dreams, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're one of the people who can remember a lot of dreams, you can, what's it called? From surgery, you can dissect the dream. And you can find all the pieces, find where you got all the real parts, like from reality. That's what I did with my most recent dream. And then you can find events, places, actions, and then you can label all of them, and you can figure out what the dream was. And I think you can find meaning out of dreams, because it's a different part of your brain that's working, not your conscious brain. It's more subconscious, but that's where your subconscious goes.
While you're dreaming.
What?
Dreams.
Yeah. When you're sleeping, that's where the subconscious goes.
The subconscious goes. Holy crap! I'm sorry, Thomas.
Straight into making
so
dreams.
Dang, I need to work on my presence.
So
Freaking me being a little hypocrite. I work on my presence, and then all of a sudden I zoned off. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Thomas.
all right. So is that all for meditating?
Not quite.
It's pretty simple.
I mean, it is, and there's a lot. Like I was gonna go into the stuff you can learn, but honestly, you should meditate. Guys, meditate.
That's crazy.
Helps you with presence, so that way you don't end up like me, who accidentally did not register what Thomas said there.
Mm-hmm.
It helps with your relationships too. So
Yeah.
you can make people feel like they're more understood.
Yeah.
If
If
you
you
can
can
listen to
understand what you're thinking, and when you analyze someone, you can identify exactly what you're analyzing, and then you can return it and communicate better. Clarity is super useful in that way.
Mm-hmm. There's another saying that I got from meditation. This one's actually pretty good. So, and this relates to mental health. People who are anxious are thinking about the future. People who have depression are thinking about the past. People who are in a peaceful mindset or who are in a peaceful state of mind are in the present. And that's what meditation helps you achieve. So meditate, guys. And then the third thing I wanted to add, one of the top 3 things that's helped me with my mental health, is gratitude journaling. And this, honestly, I feel like this one gets a lot of backlash too, because it's like, I don't want a diary. You know, that's something that gets thrown around. But journaling, and Thomas, do you do journaling in the slightest at all?
But definitely in the slightest.
Well, you do. You have the detective wall.
Oh yeah.
Which that's pretty
wall.
solid.
The detective wall is straight out of a detective scene in a movie, and I have it in my room. I have theories, I write them down, I research psychologists and theorists and people that I know, and I put it on my wall, and I just connect them all.
So that right there is essentially you're documenting, your research, but as well as your thoughts, your mind. That's what journaling has done for me. So I write down my thoughts, and obviously because it's gratitude journaling, I have a whole other section. Like I open a page, and the 2 pages there are dedicated to that day. So on the left, I usually have a list of things I'm grateful for, and I think of everything that I'm grateful for, everything that comes up, and I write that down. I talk about people, I talk about things, I talk about experiences. I literally talk about this cup. I'm grateful for this cup. The water inside of it was super soothing when I drank it. It made me feel hydrated, and it hydrated me. It made me more healthy. Boom, right there. Gratitude. Anything. So when you're more grateful for things, especially, you become more optimistic, and everything just seems better. Like even if you're in a situation where the odds are stacked against you, but you've been gratitude journaling for like 5 months, 6 months or more, or however long, you're going to be like, oh, it's okay, guys, because guess what? I've been gratitude journaling, so I'm literally nuts. No, but you'll be like, hey, it's okay, guys. It could be worse. Think about what we have. We have each other. We have all this stuff. You know, you might come out across as like kind of gay, but you're gonna be someone that people gravitate towards if you're grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're grateful for things, you're just gonna love life, and you're gonna love what you have, and the things that you get are going to make things even better. So you're just in a positive mindset, and it's only going to keep getting better, right? That's someone that, I want to be friends with that person. I want to be that person. And I'd say I am that person at this point.
It's a little bit of optimism. This is an important idea, gratitude journaling, because this has actually been implemented into religion. That's what part of prayer is. The parts of a prayer is you start the prayer, you say what you're grateful for, you ask for blessings, and you end the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So gratitude journaling is a very old idea, and it's the fact that it's survived through the ages, maybe even Egyptian times, or further, is proof that it's got something to it. And I think it works because of that.
Mm-hmm. Prayer, I guess, honestly, I didn't think about that, but praying can be kind of a form of gratitude journaling, because you're verbally speaking what you're saying, and when you're gratitude journaling, you're writing it down. And I like writing it down because it's documented. Yeah. And I'll go back and I'll read through them, and it's like, oh my gosh, look at this. It's such a great day. Even like I've noticed it's made everything better, because like I'll have maybe like a bunch of events unfold where the day's kind of bad, but I still come out, I'm like, you know what, it's alright, it's a fantastic day still, because guess what, maybe this happened, but guess what happened instead? I got to hang out with my friend. I got to see them for this. I got to eat this. I got to do this. I got to, or even if it's like, you know what, dude, I've been working all day and it's kind of sucked, but guess what, I did some real good work today. I'm so grateful, like every little thing. So just everything's way more enjoyable in life.
And it's important to be optimistic, because I haven't found evidence for this, but I believe that people are more sensitive to negative emotion than positive emotion.
More sensitive to negative?
Yes. This is because on the Big Five personality test, neuroticism is also named sensitivity to negative emotion. And that's very specific. But the people I've met who are high in neuroticism are sensitive to all emotion. But it's only measuring negative emotion. So there must be an imbalance there. Maybe that would mean all neurotic people are more sensitive to negative emotion than positive emotion, which would be out of line, except maybe everyone's more sensitive to negative emotion than positive emotion. And it makes sense, because you can be all the way dead, but you can't be all the way happy.
Yeah, I think it's almost like, back to the meditating thing, when you have a thought in meditation, the thing that kind of screws you over is like labeling helps me stop it. But if I have a thought and I'm not self-aware that I'm having a thought or of that thought, then your thoughts continue. So you'll get more. And with negative emotions, if you have a negative emotion, so I'm not good enough, you say that can spiral into a million other things. And positive emotions kind of, if you've been gratitude journaling and you know how to identify them, positive emotions can spiral. But it can be a little bit more difficult, especially if you're in a bad mindset already, because if you're always telling yourself these bad things, the negative emotions being you're more sensitive to them, it's a hard thing to get the positive emotions rolling, because it goes almost against everything you've already told yourself. So you almost feel like you're lying, and it sucks.
Personally, I think this strategy is questionable, but I haven't come up with anything yet.
Which strategy?
The journaling.
It's questionable.
I mean, when worst comes to worst, it doesn't work in the worst case scenario. If you have nothing to be grateful for, which might happen, then it's not going to work.
Why would you have nothing to be grateful for?
I don't know. That's how life is. But I mean, you have your life, and that's something to be grateful for. So I guess you can't always be an optimist.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about this. If you had nothing to be grateful for, you would be full-fledged nihilist, would you not? If you had nothing to look forward to.
If you had nothing to be grateful for, it wouldn't matter what
you're doing, exactly.
It wouldn't matter your psychological needs. If you have nothing to be grateful for, you don't have food or water. That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
If you don't have food, you're not going to worry who's the next president.
But if you can always have something to be grateful for,
mm-hmm.
Even if you have nothing, you can find something to be grateful for. I believe that. You can find something, anything. And the moment you do that, your conditions will get better. I don't remember the exact name of this person or the story this came from, but there's a story of this person who survived the Holocaust. And what he did is he endured his suffering by basically being an optimist. So this is a person who's put in worst case scenario situation. They're a prisoner, their loved ones are being taken away from them, they're basically being tortured, they're watching their people die, maybe even their friends and family die in front of them in horrendous ways, right? And they're not given a lot of food, they don't have options for almost anything. They're in a horrendous, awful situation where most people would give up. But this person said, you know what, no, I'm going to stay optimistic. I'm going to find every little thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I got this little breadcrumb from food today. Breadcrumb. I'm grateful that I did these push-ups because it made me stronger. I'm grateful that I got to go and do this. Even things that people would complain about, like the breadcrumb. Most people are going to be like, ew, a breadcrumb. That's nothing. I need food. But this person literally got barely anything, and the little of anything that they had to even survive. Because if you're here on this planet, you're definitely getting at least something that makes you survive. Any resource at all. Water, food.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have those, you can find something to be grateful for. If you're even alive, you have something. I am alive. I'm on this planet. I have an unlimited amount of potential. I'm here. And that right there is already something to be grateful for. So I believe that regardless of your situation, you can always find something to be grateful for. I mean, even think about who's watching this video right now. You're sitting comfortably. You have an access to the internet. You're sitting in your household or whatever you're doing. You could be outside. You could be on a run. You have the option to be on a run. If you're in the gym, you have the opportunity to be in the gym. If you're sitting in your house listening to this, you have the opportunity to sit in your house and listen to this. You're in a good spot. You have a lot already going for you. And, there's obviously things that suck. But you need to not focus on those as much. You need to solve them, obviously, because it's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to focus on what you have and be grateful for it. And if you can do that, everything is better. Because that way the positives overpower the negatives. So if the positives overpower the negatives, you will live happy, more happy. You'll feel more fulfilled. That's what gratitude journaling does for you. Because before I started gratitude journaling, I could be like, I'm grateful for, my parents, which obviously I am, but, I couldn't list very many things because I never thought about it. But now I go into literally everything. I'm grateful for the light rotation when I was driving. I've added that. I don't remember the date, but I remember writing that down. Literally everything.
Wait, light rotation?
Yeah, I'm driving and I was driving and it was red and I approach it and it turns green. I wrote that in my journal. I'm grateful that I turned green. Look at that. I gotta go. Nice. I didn't have to sit at the stoplight. Literally every little thing. And it's made everything better.
Very nice. There's one more strategy. It's kind of obvious, but better to say it than not. Eat food. Like,
Eat food, guys.
people skip meals or have really skimpy meals. Take 3 good meals a day.
Yeah.
Your parents told you how to do this.
You know, another thing to that is like, there's a lot of people who don't eat a lot of food, but when I hear people who eat food calories, and it starts with a 1, it's in the thousands, it's below 2,000 calories, it's painful to hear.
Yeah.
Because you're basically starving yourself. I mean, unless you're like a child. And when I say, I mean like a literal 2-year-old, because...
Well, even 2-year-olds, I mean, yeah, they're not going to eat very much.
They're
They're going to eat a lot more proportionately.
Yeah. But if you're, you know, I think even at least a teenager, you're going to be eating around 2,000 or more, right? Because 2,000 is like recommended average. I think people eat more than 2,000 usually, and that's sustainable. Mm-hmm. Not even too much.
I mean, on the label it says 2,000 calorie diet, so I think 2,000
is average.
Less. Like if it's a diet. I mean, maybe it is average.
Well, it might be minimum. Maybe, I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to cut, then yeah, probably stick with 2,000. Because I think if you go below 2,000, it's not really healthy to go below 2,000. So you could say 2,000 is the average, but if there's average, then there's below average, and below average would be the under 2,000, and that's not very healthy. But back to the topic: eat food.
Eat food.
Eat food.
Yeah,
let's get our nutrients. Let's do it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff that you're gonna need. So you also want a variety, like they taught you in school. And if you don't have that,
well, actually, they didn't really teach it. I mean, they went over it lightly.
They told you grains, dairy, fruits, vegetables, all that. And really, you could cut a lot of it out, but you'd have to be really careful. I think you should just get a variety. It's so much easier. And you're going to have a worse time if you don't. Just saying. Mm-hmm. That might be why a lot of the people I know are neurotic, is because they have eat a can of ravioli.
And that's their food for the day. Oh my God.
It's really good, and I don't know how healthy it is for you.
Ravioli.
I mean, I think maybe you could live off of it, but...
I mean, guys, let's eat more than 60 calories a day, please.
Yeah.
Let's eat. Let's get our nutrients. But, yeah, eat food. Honestly, it sounds very basic, but it's necessary because there's a lot of people who have, eating disorders and stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
also,
that's good.
Soda.
Don't drink soda.
Just water.
That's kind of what I've migrated to. I only drink water.
I know so many people who don't drink water anymore because they just drink soda.
Like who? I mean, who? How do you drink more soda than water? Because you need to stay hydrated. You need water.
The first ingredient in soda is carbonated water, so that does satisfy your thirst.
It satisfies your thirst, but I mean, imagine you're freaking your liver after you drink all that soda and no water.
24/7. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
and
the added ingredients now.
A lot of them are super acidic, so I think that might give you heartburn. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, soda's pretty fizzy, but. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think that's about all I got. You got anything else you want to add?
No, well said, Camden.
Well said. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
And remember, there's always another perspective.
Always another perspective.